Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Jon Binnie, your spiritual psychic mentor here in Scotland, and I'm here today with channeled messages from Mother Gaia, from my spirit guides from across the universe, from the Galactic Federation, perhaps some councils of light, and also Archangels, Sol, the Sun, Luna, the Moon, and any other beings that I trust to work with. So, welcome along. Today, we're going to be working through as many of your questions as I can. And thank you so much for posting your questions. If you're curious about where to post questions for these videos, please visit the description of this video, and you'll see perhaps the first or second link says, click here to submit your YouTube questions. It takes you to my website, jonbinnie.com, and there you can lovingly type in your question, and I randomly pick these in these shows and also psychic tree talks and other videos to help answer your questions, and also bring, what I love is your questions bring a beautiful, huge diversity to increasing expansion and diversity to these videos. So thank you so much for all your questions. And some of you have been posting those questions on the contact section of our website. Please don't post them there. In the contact section, I've added a little note to remind you to go over to the link for YouTube, the YouTube page for questions. And that's because I ask for your consent to share the question publicly. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. As always, I will go ahead and create a safe space. Now, just to pre-warn you, Patch, my beautiful little papillon, is a little bit restless. And so if at some point you hear him barking, or you see me kind of freeze frame for a moment, just know that I've just let him out or let him go into the house and explore for a while. He's already had a walk. He's just in one of those moods. I'm sure we can all relate to that. Okay, maybe this safe space will help settle him down as well. So please, let's go ahead and create a safe space. And to do so, please join me as we take a deep breath in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out what no longer serves. Your highest good, nice and loud. Breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any fear, shame, anxiety, or pain, nice and loud. And breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any remaining low vibration energy or emotion that no longer serves you, nice and loud. And continue to breathe as it feels right for you. Now focus your attention on the very center of your heart, where the golden light of your soul enters your human form. And from the center of your heart, extend a cord of light up through the top of your head. Reach up into the sky and up into the stars. Reach all the way up through the highest frequencies and dimensions of this universe until you reach the highest dimension of the source of love of this universe. And there connect in your light cord into the highest dimension of source. Feeling into that oneness, unity, and unconditional love of source. Remain connected and extend your light cord down to the stars and sky, back down to the top of your head and into your heart once more. And now, from the center of your heart, extend a cord of light downwards, down through the base of your spine and deep into the earth, and reach down all the way through the layers of the planet, going deeper and deeper until you reach the very core of Mother Earth, and there connect in your light cord into Mother Gaia's crystalline heart. And we send Mother Gaia so much love at this time. Allow her to send her love back. Remain connected into Gaia's heart and extend your light cord back up through the layers of the planet, up through the root of your spine and into your heart once more. And now, together with light of source above, Mother Gaia below, and your own light, expand out a golden bubble of protective light to surround you, about 2 meters out to each side, above and below, in front and behind you. and set the intention that only energies and entities with your permission, your highest good, love, and compassion can see you, access you, or exist within this space or within you, and that all other energies and entities must leave immediately. And into your safe space, invite in your spirit guides, your higher self, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source, and Gaia, and ask at this time for their guidance, clearing, healing, protection, and assistance with integration of today's session. And now, through space and time, I create a golden protective bubble around all of us who engage with this video across space and time, all aspects of us. And I set the intention that only energies and entities with our permission, and with the highest good, love, and compassion of all, can see us, access us, or exist in this session space or within us, and that all other energies and entities must leave immediately. Inviting in my spirit guides, my higher self, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Gaia, Sol and Luna, and including my spirit guides who are members of the Galactic Federations and other councils of light at this time. And all other energies and entities must leave immediately. Wonderful. And I set the intention today. We're here to channel messages in from these beautiful named beings who have invited in. And we would like messages for the highest good, love, and compassion of all. What we need to know about right now on March 20th, 2026, and what's coming up for us in the days, weeks, and months ahead, and practices, recommendations, clearings, and healings that will support us through this amazing journey of life at this time. Okay. And just before we go into your questions, and I do stick around, I'd love to also bring in a message from Mother Gaia for us all. One theme there's been lots of themes coming up for me in the last week, boundaries, leaky boundaries, technology challenges has been a theme. So disruption in technology, and yes, there's Mercury retrograde, or I don't know if that's past yet or not. I don't pay too much attention to that. And then there's also more of you have been asking me about other YouTubers, content creators, spiritual teachers, people, mentors, people that you follow or that you work with. And my suggestions are, first of all, seek people that you can feel it in your heart. Place your hand on your heart and just ask your heart, does this person have my highest good and intentions in their heart at this time? You can also ask your heart, does this person's energy, do their intentions match their words, their actions? Do their intentions match their actions? You can also consciously, pay attention to, does the person create a safe space? I'm very conscious from a YouTube perspective. For some of you, it might be a bit boring, right? Creating a safe space. For me, it's essential for this work. Yes, I could create a safe space. In fact, I do every day before a video like this. However, I want you to join into that safe space. So I want you to be in a shared protective space. So there's no interference. There's no interference with what I bring through and what you receive. Also, I'd encourage you to seek people that, can clearly articulate their vision for their future of their mission, their business, and for their personal life. And if you're curious about mine, just go and visit jonbinnie.com. It's on the homepage. It's a very short homepage, right? And it has my mission there. I talk a lot about my mission. It's in the description of my YouTube videos as well. And also talk about my vision for the world and the vision for my life as well. So balanced with my mission, my work. So, and a big reason I do that is not to preach. I'm not trying to convert the world to be, you've got to follow the Jon Binnie mission. It's not that, right? I firmly feel we all get to choose, each of us individually. That's what this whole universe is founded upon. We're founded on free will. I know it doesn't always feel like that, right? Not on this planet this time. That's why we're here to change it. And so I want to lead by example. And so I encourage you to definitely feel into your own missions in life, your own purpose, what you want out of your work, your purpose, and your personal life. And you don't need to have a website, right? You don't need to have a YouTube channel. Just encouraging you to get clear with it, with yourself. When you clear with yourself lightly, you'll find it easier to get clear with others. So when you're following others in any way or learning from others, you can at least understand their intentions. And, we all get to choose different things, right? Some of us might choose money. Some of us might choose time or freedom. Some of us might choose fame, like whatever those things are that you choose. And there's an infinite variety of choices. I celebrate you, whatever you choose. So yeah, just encouraging you to get as clear as you can. Okay. So first question is from Miss, I think Miss Dragon, and it's spelt Elaoline. Elaoline. I don't know if it's Miss Dragon Elaine or Elaoline. Either way, thank you for your question. So you've asked, and I believe this comes from a previous request. More of you may be interested in it, and I love it. It's almost like it's almost like this question's rigged. It's right because it's an advert, right? Good news, it's an advert for something free. So your question is, what time is the astral travel to the ship? So it'll be an astral travel to a Galactic Federation ship on Tuesday, March the 24th. What time I am in Marana, Arizona, and would like to catch the live stream, even if I have to tune in at 2 a.m. in the morning. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you so much. That's so cool. So good news. Good news. On March 24th, Tuesday, March 24th, myself and the incredible, the fantastical Chloe Rose, who's my new co-host for what is a reimagined live stream. Each Tuesday we'll be doing different adventures. Some will be astral travel like this. Some will be heart-aligned business alchemy, some more kind of spiritual business or just business focused. And the first one, we're going ahead with this request for astral travel to a Galactic Federation ship. And it's exciting. Chloe's not been before, and I'm excited to, or certainly not led people to it. And I'm excited to work with her. I'm sure with the combined energy of us both and all you beautiful souls, it'll be incredible. So to the time. So the time will be 2:30 UK time, which is this right? 10:30. Yeah, because it's only 4 hours difference. So it's 10:30 Eastern time, which is 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. That's right. The reason our time zones are closer, it's been almost 3 weeks, or will have been almost 3 weeks, that our time zones are closer by an hour, because the UK hasn't yet entered British summertime, or daylight saving time as it's known. So that will be at the end of the month for us. So we still have at least another week of a tighter gap. So that's good news. It means that you don't have to get up quite so early. So I'm not sure the Arizona time zone. I know you guys will be able to check that out easily yourselves. If you're ever unsure about when something's going to be, I always create the live streams in advance. So you just look at you go to my YouTube channel, and then you go to the live section, And in the live section, you'll see all the scheduled live streams, and they're shown in your time zone. So they're shown, and regardless of what I've written, I always try and get in the thumbnail, I always try and write the time correctly. Even an even better source of truth is the YouTube time itself. So it will be presented to you in your time zone, not mine, which is good news for you. Good news for all of us. Well, thank you so much for that question. I'm so excited. I've been to Galactic Federation ships and more many times, so I'm excited to head over. Okay, next question from is it Yes Are Still Here? I think that's what you've called yourself. I don't know if it's meant to say yes or yes. Yeah, it's spelt yes are yes. Oh, yes are still here. Yes are still here. Okay. Well, thank you for your question. Yes are still here. If we set the intention, it's all in capitals, so I feel like I should be shouting it. If we set the intention to wake up in 5D in peace with a side of magic, what will happen? Can we set the intention for that to happen every day, or do we need to do that every day? Okay, I think I understand your question. So you're asking if we can just set the intention to wake up in 5D. Now, I love it, because although I have my Jon Binnie opinions, as always, I will also expand out my opinions to other beings. So let's see, from these beautiful beings I've invited in today, let's just ask. Perhaps one of my spirit guides will help answer this. Okay. So my dragon guide, her name is Moya, and in dragon speak, you may sometimes hear me saying her name, which is Moya, which I really love saying, because Moya, in her dragon-like language, means remember who you are. And that's a very powerful introduction to answering this question. So let me just ask Moya. She says, intentions create a path ahead of you upon which you can walk with your actions. Intentions to enter the fifth dimension require not only a path to the fifth dimension, so she keeps showing me stepping stones. She says these stepping stones are not flat. The fifth dimension is not a linear trajectory for most of us here on Earth. It is an upward direction. So it is upwards in vibration, upwards in our emotions, from fear, where a lot of our collective is right now, reaching up to these happier, high vibration, joy, love, gratitude, authenticity, unity, these higher vibration emotions. And so she says, each step that you take requires you to, with every step, choose fear over love. No, other way around, to choose love over fear. I love that slip. So choosing love over fear. And it's really interesting because this is it's a fairly new concept for me that she's showing me, which is that she's saying that when you take a step up in vibration, in some respects, you don't really notice it, right? So if you step from fear right now into love, you step up, right? And as you step up, then you create a new baseline, right? You create, just like you can feel yourself being held by your feet if you're standing up like me just now, or you're sat down, you feel yourself being held by the earth. And if you're in a chair like mine, like an office chair that kind of go, like lift yourself up, or you can just use your legs, right, and stand up. Once you've stood up, you're at a higher vibration. So emotionally, energetically, she's saying that once you step up, you still have fear, right? It's just that the frequency of the fear has lessened, and the love has increased. So this is a constant journey. This is why, in the fifth dimension, you can feel a kind of form of fear. It's how to describe it? It's far lessened. Like, it's just a tingle of it, right? Whereas when you come all the way down to third dimension, it's like, it's like, it can feel like that in every moment of every day. You can experience down here in the third dimension really deep, dark emotions. So she says, in short, no, you can't just set the intention to wake up in the fifth dimension and wake up in the fifth dimension. One thing you can do just before you go to sleep at night, right? Place your hand on your heart. Place your left hand on your heart. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And breathe out nice and loud. And say, Spirit guides, please help me experience the fifth dimension during dream time tonight. Spirit guides, please help me experience the fifth dimension in dream time tonight. How is that possible? Well, first of all, you can ask anything you want, right? So that's possible. Second is, if your spirit guides are able to help you and they choose to help you, and they're able to help you in the moment during sleep time, let go of these heavier emotions, these fearful emotions, and you and your body and your consciousness feel safe to travel in dream time, then your consciousness can step up into the fifth dimension and experience the fifth dimension in dream time. And when you come back down to earth in the morning, when you wake up in the third dimension, it's important to know that in our bodies, we demand a lot of our bodies, right? And a lot of the time, we're demanding our bodies to hold fear energy, to hold negative energy, both created by ourselves, our negative self-talk, our doubt, our fears. You might have a fear of lack, about money, about job security. You might be scared of your government. You can be scared of anything in this world, right? And there's plenty to be scared of. And your body, what often happens is you feel those emotions in your heart, and then your heart, to protect itself so it's not constantly laden down by negative energy, pushes that negative energy out across your body to different organs, often into your muscles. For me, I used to get it a lot in my legs, my thighs, and so that was because when I was running in the morning, my body was always trying to release it. And that's really common in my one-to-one quantum psychic healing sessions I do for clients, is that I'm helping you release that negative energy, that burden, and reminding your body we all have this inbuilt function of how to release negative energy through the base of our spine and deep into the earth. So as Maria said, my spirit guide Maria, she says, first set the intention, like choose that you want to go to fifth dimension. And then second, you still have to do the work, right? So you still have to do the choose love over fear, step up. Choose love over fear, step up. Choose love over fear, step up. And keep doing that in your life and you'll get there, right? There's no rush. Yes, we're coming up on April the 11th as the third dimension and fifth dimensional Earths begin to separate more. So it's a journey of separation, right? You still get the opportunity to at any time to jump between the two. And how do you do it? It's simple. You just step up. You choose love over fear, love over fear. Choose love over fear. Okay. I hope that helps you. Thank you for your question. And there was that implicit part to the last part of the question where you say, or do we need to do that every day? Do it every day. You need to choose love over fear every day. And I just think it's a really wonderful thing to do. Don't ignore the fear, right? Don't go, there's no fear, I'm not scared of anything, because that's not helpful either, right? Because all that happens is you'll temporarily shift into love, and then the fears will be like, hey, Jon, come back. You haven't dealt with your childhood wounds yet. Patch has moved my reverb pedal away, so it's a bit hard to go and get. But yeah, do face your fears as well. If you're interested, my free 14-day Spirit Guide meditation challenges are great for building a regular practice. And there's some shadow works and facing of fears in those meditations. There's also the 5D Ascension classes. They're free. You'll get a link to them at the end of that meditation. You'll also see them on the Getting Started link on my homepage of my website. They're also on a playlist on my homepage of my YouTube. And the 5D Ascension class has an entire 1-hour class dedicated to shadow work, right? Or join, and that's all free. So all that stuff I've just described is free. If you want to join me in a training class, and I'll teach you it, and you can share your fears with me, come along to the Higher Self Foundational Training that starts at the end of July. And it's probably the last Zoom-based training course or version of that course that I run at the end of July. And after that, I'll probably switch it to like a more self-study based. So if you're interested, and I think there's just one space left. This is a really terrible, this is like a pincer movement of a sales pitch, right? I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to be truthful. Well, I'm not trying to be. I am being truthful. Okay. And let's move on to the next question. This is from Cheryl. Oh, and of course, if you need help facing your fears, book me for a one-to-one session as well. There's links on the homepage of my website and also at the end of this video. Okay. And the description of the video everywhere. Cheryl says, so John, I love your catch-up sessions. This is a question about Venus. She does not sustain physical life as we know it in this dimension, but I was wondering if she supports life and consciousness in some other dimension. Does Gaia work closely with Venus? Her orbit brings her physically closer to Earth than any other planet in our solar system, closer than Venus or closer than Mars or Mercury, and she's also closer to the sun. It's really interesting. The right side of my chest, just the right side of my heart, was kind of tingling there as it was said that when it said closer to the sun. Does she represent love and beauty as a planet in our reality as we perceive her in our mythology? Can you give us some of her history and talk about her function or purpose as a member of Gaia's solar family? Wow, that's a lot of questions about Venus. I kind of love them all, right? And yes, I'm going to do my best to answer the question. I do also encourage you to, with every being, so the sun, Sol, the moon, Luna, the earth, Gaia, and every being right in your existence, I'd encourage you to form your own direct relationships. And one way I can help with that is I can help facilitate that introduction. So one way I can do it is, it's funny, I'm just feeling a beautiful energy, like a loving energy in the center of my heart. Patch is staring at me. Hi, Patch. So there's the 5D Ascension class would be great. So we could do, and I've done it before, I believe, with Venus. We can go there ourselves. We can go meet Venus, right? You can also look at Venus in the night sky, look at pictures of Venus, ask Venus to come forwards in meditation, just encouraging you to build your own relationships, because I love answering questions. Don't get me wrong. I will answer questions all my life, right? I love it. In addition to that, I encourage you also to build your own relationships. Don't just take my word for it. And please also remember these questions, these answers are often in context of this kind of now moment. And our frequency, our vibration. So maybe in 5 years, if you ask me the same question, we'll be getting more expansive, higher vibration answers, because we're ready for it, we're ready to receive more, and because we've shifted up in our vibration, if that's what we've chosen. Okay, let me ask, Cheryl. Thank you so much for your question. Let's ask. I'm going to see if Venus would like to join into the session. Let me just see if Sol and Gaia can bring Venus into the safe space. Really interesting. Venus's first response is, I'm kind of sleeping right now. Okay. Do you want to? Do you want to join us for answers? Some. Okay. Thank you, Venus. And we'd love you to just introduce yourself a bit more, Venus, and also tell us a bit more about yourself. These questions, I hope you heard them about life, consciousness, interactions with Gaia, proximity to Gaia, and what are your strongest emotions? I feel like I've just invited a stranger into our session, and I'm like starting again from scratch. Okay, Venus. My body is evolving much like Mother Gaia, constantly changing. And once I have supported life in the past, and I'm also going through a great rebirthing at this time. You're going to witness more life upon me as you enter your fourth and fifth dimensions, because your viewing angle, your perspective will allow you to perceive fourth and fifth aspects of my surface so much easier. I don't mean to be blunt, but humans have projected a lot of thoughts and even explorations upon me. And really, you still have time and energy to spend getting to know me, just as John was saying. Yes, there is great love. Yes, there is great peace within me and upon me. And there's so much more to me for you to discover. And I do invite you to visit me in one of John's classes. With this, let me rest now, please. Wow. It was I don't know if you noticed, the channeling was very different. It was, I didn't invite, patch my feet. I didn't invite Venus into me. Venus didn't really want to, more just relaying the message. And I felt you could still feel some of that energy and the tone coming through. Really interesting. Yeah, love and beauty, Venus. I have a lot of love for Venus. And I feel a little bit like we just woke Venus up to ask a question. And how exciting. Yeah, that'd be so wonderful. So perhaps in another 4 or 5 weeks, actually I have a vacation coming up. But in a month or two, we could visit Venus. That would be a lot of fun. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Or just book me for a session and I'll take you there. That's a lot of fun too. Yeah, it was really interesting. I had a client session recently where they asked me specifically for to go to a specific location, which was a lot of fun. Okay, next question is from Krita, Krita. Can you talk more about inner earth beings? I'm so curious about what is going on. We talk a lot about galactic beings, but I want to go deeper in the other direction. Thanks so much. Yay. So I have done videos on inner earth before. I mean, it's me, right? I'll have done videos on everything. I'm Jon Binnie. I've done videos on everything. And a really common place I visit is Agartha. And I describe Agartha as, I don't usually use the word realm. It is under the surface of the earth. It is ancient, is vast, and has s- it the most the concept I most resonate with about the structure of the earth being able to support such spaces is this honeycomb effect, like these pockets, these very large, giant pockets of spaces under the earth. And so, yeah, there's a lot more than just Agartha. What fascinates me the most about Agartha is that it has a giant library, the Great Library of Agartha, or sometimes called the Grand Library of Agartha. And beings from around the universe visit there. So when you travel there, and this would be great fun to do in a 5D Ascension class as well, or in a one-to-one session with me, when we travel there, always, every time I go, I always see beings from around the universe. So not just beings, inner earth beings, if you like. And so they quite happily come in through portals either outside of the earth, or they come through portals in mountains or in the land or in the oceans. And they'll go directly down into Agartha. If you look up the last one, it's been a while since I last went to Agartha. One video I remember well was called the Book of Dead Souls, which is, even as a concept that souls can die is a fascinating concept to me. So I read that book in Agartha. So you can just search for that video, Jon Binnie, Book of Dead Souls, and you'll find it. So let me see if Gaia would, or one of the other beings that I've invited in, would like to share more about what's going on, what beings perhaps exist about beneath the earth. Yeah, Mother Gaia has come forward. Mother Gaia says, wouldn't you like to know? Yes, we would. That's why we're asking, Mother Gaia. She says there's so much more for us to discover. She says, yes, then there's entire races, some of them quite ancient, as ancient as humans, and some even pre-human, as we would define ourselves as being human now, our human DNA and genetically. And she says, like an ice age, which is a really fascinating reference, Gaia says that time and space beneath the earth is different to the surface. It is experienced differently. And so she says, in this respect, beings that live beneath the earth, they don't need sunlight, not in the way that they generate their own light, and they grow their own food. You don't need the sun for life, which is fascinating to me. And I know, was it bioluminescence and, kind of like fungus that grows on walls that's bioluminant and all these things are possibilities. When I visit Agartha, I often see that, these beautiful lights and even atmospheres and clouds. Okay. Thank you, Mother Gaia. I'm just asking if there's any identifications we can make, because she was showing me some visuals of some of the much more ancient beings. She's just showing me them visually, saying these, and to me these look like, they look similar to gray aliens. Don't use that term, John. Or a gray, often we'd call them an extraterrestrial. They feel more like an inner terrestrial. She says they go back many thousands of years, and they also go into our future as well, which is really important. And yeah, they have highly advanced technologies. And there are into the low millions of them. Do they exist, Guy, on like my or our timelines in our dimension? She says, yes. However, the closer you journey to the center of the earth, the more of a phase shift you require, in part for the travel to get there. You need to be out of phase, out of the third dimension, so you could jump into the fourth dimension and then come back down into the third. And she said, because of this, beings don't always choose to exist in the third dimension. You know, it's deep, it's dark, it's heavy, right? So if you're a higher vibration being, such as fourth dimensional, a lot of like these gray-like inner terrestrials I was shown look more like they were in the fourth dimension, which is also fascinating. Now it's still real, right? And it's still beneath the surface of the earth, and it's still in this earth right now. Wonderful. Are there others? Says, yes, there are some small pockets of some smaller groups into their thousands of beings who are, she says, that they are in refuge is what she described it as. So they're from different planets and they've decided to settle beneath the earth. And I'm just asking why do they stay beneath the earth? And she says, because everything's so much easier. You don't get any annoyance from the humans. You're not subjected, and this is really interesting, right? You're not subjected to the collective energy of humanity. Now that's fascinating in itself. And they have advanced technologies to move freely to the surface when they choose, and even to cloak themselves. And they freely travel on and off planet. And she says, John, you may know this already, and I don't know, I think my answer is I kind of know it, is that Mother Gaia's heart, so her heart chakra itself, is also a portal. And that's really common with our human heart chakras as well. I know this because I've used clients' heart chakras for, working through in the one-to-one sessions to travel to past lives, for example, or different dimensions through the heart chakra itself as a portal. Fascinating. Well, fascinating for me. Let's get some water. So it does feel like there's more to discover. A visit to Agartha, Krita would be a lot of fun. And, if we had longer in the video, I would definitely just start to go through like a catalog process. And what also fascinates me is that Gaia doesn't appear to be like super interested in what each of these beings, call themselves, how they identify, all the human things. We want to know, who are you, where are you from, what's your name? It's a very human introduction, and Gaia is very welcoming and very accommodating to these beings. And there's this feeling that all she asks from the beings that reside under her skin, including if humans on top of the earth, is alignment with the frequency of Earth. That's really important. So alignment with her, which I really love. And I know this concept to you that I'm about to introduce. Thank you so much, Greta, for your question. One concept to introduce to you is that other planets, right, aren't so happy, right, when their inhabitants do things that are destructive towards the planet. And the planet, I'm talking about other planets, not Mother Gaia, clearly. The planet may react and reject the beings, and cause a lot of intentionally cause a lot of destruction to those, to the inhabitants. And, you get some of that, a little bit of that from Mother Gaia, right? You get, this is from my human perspective, not from Mother Gaia. We see, volcanoes and tectonic plate movements. And I feel like this is the very minimum that Gaia has to do to be able to survive. So a lot of energy released. But yeah, some planets, just kick you out. And it's just like, get out of here. I don't need to tolerate you. And I love that because, well, I don't love the suffering that causes, right? But what I do love is that every being has their own free will. And, it's not a planet doesn't just need to accept every being that exists upon it. And it's maybe similar to us and our families, right? We don't, just because we're born into our families and with our families, we can choose to leave them. We can choose to reject them if we wish. On that cheery note, the next question is from Shy Heart. Hi, John. Hello, Shy Heart. I have a handful of YouTube channels that I follow, and as I have grown to trust their messages and uplifted by them, I understand that these are private businesses and provide great services, which choices for free products like podcasts and videos like yours, lifelines and very grateful. I'm confused about these activations they have started to sell. I'm not feeling the need to buy, but I'm very frugal and worry if I'm missing out on opportunities. Activations seem to be the newest service, but overwhelming to do the right thing. Here, there are so many. Do we need these really? Okay, I can answer that straight away. No, you don't need them. Next. No, I'm only joking. So first of all, I just want to say, Shy Heart, I love the context of what you're describing, because this is something we're all feeling into, including myself, right? We're feeling into as this new earth we're all building together, right? So the old earth, right, this kind of old way of doing things would be, I would probably use this video, for example, and I'd probably do a lot of paid advertising, which now I do none of. And this whole video would have been about, buy Jon Binnies, buy more Jon Binnies. I'm not for sale, but my services are, right? Why do I say these things? Oh, Patch is now digging up a hole. Hello. He's digging up a hole beneath me on the rug. So yeah, the days of the hard sell for me, are definitely gone. And what I love doing is doing the things I love, showing the superpowers that I have. And we all have unique superpowers, right? We all have superpowers. And that's really important when we get to your answer. And so my hope, and what I've loved and you demonstrate this as hundreds of wonderful, beautiful clients, and I consider you a client. If you're watching this, you're my client, and that I treat you all equally, is that you're getting to know me. And as long as you get to know me, you get to know my energy, you get to know John and all his foibles, his mistakes, and his shadows, as well as the light and everything in between, my light, my dark, and everything in between. It's like my dog Patch, who's black and white. And the free services, things like podcasts, etc. I mean, there's a little bit of a gray area, right? Which is that these videos I do are almost for free. They are monetized to have an advert at the beginning, but I don't have adverts during these long videos. I don't know about you. I just don't like the long videos during it, but it makes a huge difference that I can have an advert right up front. And I don't even know what it will be, maybe $5, $10, $20 for creating an hour video like this. I mean, it all adds up, right? So I'm sure I'll look at that. I will look at some of these previous videos and see what sort of revenue they generate, because that'd be interesting to share with you as well. Okay, so that's one thing. The services I then offer, and this is so important, right, is the key message about any services that I or people like me offer is that all we do is help you and your consciousness remember and draw attention to the areas in which you need to heal yourself, clear yourself, activate yourself. It's all within you. Everything you need. You were born on this earth with everything you need inside of you. So you don't need anything from other people. Good news, right? And then you're wondering, but Jon, tell me, how come you're so busy all the time with all these bookings? And why do you have to wait 4 or 5 months for a booking with me? Well, it's because we all, including me, I had a booking. I had a wonderful session from my dear friend Chloe Rose of Mystic Hearts on Monday this week. We all need help sometimes bringing our specifically, even if you're a practitioner like me, bringing attention to different areas. For example, the session I did with Chloe on Monday, we brought attention to boundaries, business and personal, which I then went and updated my website and changed some things straight away. And I found some things that were really interesting, some boundary energy leaks. The second was about not letting my life kind of just pass by as I'm doing all this work all the time. And so more Jon time, and less just always in the public eye, always creating content. So a bit more of a balance there. And there was a third thing also. I remember like being guided a bit more to food, and there was a couple of other things that were private too. Anyway, those, and I also had this incredible root chakra clearing as well. And it's so funny because often what happens in our life, and this is really starting to answer the activations question. The concept that you could buy an activation, I feel is false. You can't buy an activation from someone, right? What you can do is buy the access to their offering, their service, and that could be a meditation. It could be free or paid for. It could be a one-to-one session with me, and I do activations. We're not really giving you the activation, right? What we're helping do is bring your attention to the specific area and the specific steps, and talking with your spirit guides, the things you need to do to reactivate that within you. I wish I could show you a picture, just kind of like this, it's down there on the floor, just staring at me. So yeah, that's really important. So specifically for you, Shy Heart, you could, what do I offer for free activations? I'm sure, first of all, if you go on the homepage of my website, under meditations, you'll see in there, there are the quantum psychic sessions, for example. Some of them are 45 minutes or an hour, and a lot of them include activations. You can also look at the 5D Ascension classes. They're also free. And there's one specifically for visiting another life, witnessing a superpower in action, and then helping, so one of your superpowers, and then helping activate that within you. And I would say always be really careful about anyone that claims to come between you and something that already exists within you, right? And this is, in many ways, this is how the dark matrix, right? The fear, the control systems across the world at this time control the majority of humanity, is by coming in between, almost a feeling of coming in between our hearts and our solar plexus, where our hearts want to feel love, we want to feel self-love. And what they do is they kind of inject this fear. It's like, oh, you can't love yourself unless you earn enough money. And that, and money and abundance is down in the solar plexus over the stomach here. So they almost inject this kind of fear in between two aspects of you, right? And say, well, you can't be whole unless you have money, right? And it's like, that drives me crazy, right? It makes me so rageful, right? In part that's done to us. And for me, that I've allowed myself, right? You can decide how it feels for you, but for me, I have felt such anger that I've allowed myself to be kind of intercepted, that between my self-love and my own self-abundance, because abundance is a feeling. It's not a number, right? It doesn't matter how much money you have in your account. You're going to have, at some point, you have to feel abundant. And that's why people that win lotteries often have such disastrous problems and go bankrupt really fast, is because they just inject a huge amount of money into that kind of wound, and it massively amplifies the negative experiences and relationships they have with money. Affirmations I really resonate with is, I am abundant. I am abundant. I'm grateful for all the abundance I have. I always receive all the abundance I need and more. Like, these are such powerful. You touch your heart with your left hand, touch your solar plexus with your right hand, or if you're left-handed, other way around. So these practices are really important. And to the point about, if you book me for a one-to-one session, it's really common for people to ask for a superpower activation. What happens is, so for example, a lot of, including this week, a lot of client sessions have had superpowers with the heart, superpowers in the third eye, superpowers in the crown chakra. And there's a lot of steps. Well, not a lot, but I always ask for 3, right? I always ask for, what are the 3 steps? So I have to do the energy work, helping opening up those parts of the body, helping the body feel relaxed. Your heart really needs to be open to access your superpowers. A lot of the superpower and the information and how to use it, you bring down from your soul into your higher self and into your body, right? So again, all parts of you, your soul's part of you, your higher self's part of you. So you are bringing part of you into your body. Your body needs to feel safe. You need to have strong boundaries. You need to be happy and healthy. You need to have healed any past wounds that you haven't got over yet, about perhaps the misuse or traumatic use of that superpower, such as in defense of your life or defending others, or if I've experienced this, like revenge in past lives on others who have attacked my friends or family. So all those things, those kind of foundations need to be in place. And a regular daily meditation practice, and a regular practice, perhaps there'll also be some movement, exercise, connecting with nature, these things. There'll be often then 3 areas to look at, right? And so the 3 practices might be, one might be a positive affirmation, looking in the mirror each day and saying, John, I love you. John, I love you. John, I love you. And I always laugh when I say it, but I say it every day and it fills my heart with such joy. So there could be some self-love steps. You may also be talking to your heart and say, heart, it's safe to open. Heart, it's safe to open. Heart, it's safe to open. And help really feeling your heart chakra open up. And then the third may be actually practicing it. So for me, this is actually how I started my quantum psychic healing work and this business that you see me doing today. Is I just started by doing with friends, because no one taught me how to do this. So I just did it with friends. I booked a session, twice a week with different friends over time, and those expanded out, and my range of friends increased over time. And, friends can be clients too, and eventually started charging for that. And I just started those sessions by sending in love energy from my heart to channel it down from source and then out through my heart, through my hands. Sending you love. That's basically how my first session started. And create safe space, send in love, and then helping clear energy. So in other words, that third step could be that you get through in a one-to-one session with me. Your guides could be guiding you to practicing it, practice, practice, practice. And this is because this may be the first time, likely is the first time you as a soul have yielded a superpower in this density, in this third dimension density, right? And in a body that's so dense, right? Sorry, body. I love you, body. I don't mean to hit you like that. So yeah, there's this really lovely, I've just got this imagery of this gorilla like roaring and letting all this energy out, this rage out of its chest. Practice, is such a wonderful way of continuing to nurture a superpower and continue to evolve it. And if you ask me, back right at the start of my awakening in November 2017, I would tell you that back then to talk to your spirit guides, have a daily meditation practice, ask them questions. I mean, that's really powerful. I ask the same question every day, have done for about 8.5, almost 9 years now. I say, guides, higher self and source, what messages do you have for me at this time for the highest good love and compassion of all? They've just answered, thank you. They just answered saying, love, we love you. Thank you. But practice every day. And whenever you do something, whenever you try out your superpower, celebrate with gratitude. I love doing that. Thank you so much. Woohoo, I love it. I love you. Thank you, guides. Thank you, body. Thank you, everyone that supported me in it. That energy of gratitude, even if absolutely nothing happened, even if you were annoyed and frustrated and didn't feel safe trying it, say thank you, right? Say thanks. I always say to my kids, unless someone's punching you, say, or attacking you energetically or physically, say thank you for whatever they've done. It's just a really simple rule, right? Just say thanks. We're genuinely feeling that happy, high vibration emotion will really help you. It's a flywheel, right? So especially when you talk to your spirit guides, for example, when you ask a question, say, hey, spirit guides, question, and then you listen, and then you're waiting, and then either nothing happens or something happens. And then you're like, thank you. Either way, thank you. Even if nothing happens, thank you so much. Thank you, spirit guides. And remember what happens, your spirit guides can feel that emotion of gratitude. Gratitude is very, very high vibration. It's huge and expansive, especially in comparison to fear. So if you end that practice with fear, like, ugh, I'm terrible at doing that. It's never going to happen for me. If you're in that mindset, and believe you me, I've been there many days, many months, right? So I'm not judging you or denying that of course, it's a real emotion and it will happen to you. I guarantee it'll happen some days. Is that you still celebrate it. You still say, thank you for that experience. Try your very best to squeeze out some gratitude because you're always learning, right? And your spirit guides find it so much easier to tune into that high vibration. Remember, many of them, maybe all of your spirit guides are in a higher vibration than you. So they need you to reach up to these higher vibration emotions to continue to work with them. Anyway, that's just one activation. I describe that as like heart and throat chakra, third eyes, seeing. So it's like feeling, talking to, perceiving and experiencing, and telepathic communication in your crown chakra with spirit guides. So in short, don't just buy other people's services in the hope that you could, or retreats or all these things that in the hope that someone's going to give you something you don't already have. The best they'll do, and I think I'm pretty good at this, is help you reactivate something within you. And you're not missing out by not paying for it, right? And I can't speak for other practitioners, but I can speak for my work. I don't hold back anything in the work that I do in free content. And I consider it as high quality sometimes, like it's consistent. For me, it should be consistently high quality for, when you compare it to my one-to-one sessions, which are paid for. And that's because for me, I never want you to have that feeling of like, I bought that new car, but it only drives at 20 miles an hour. It's lovely and shiny, but, or John helped me activate 60% of my third eye for free, but to do 80% or 100%, I need to pay for a one-to-one session. That's also not true, right? You can go through all those activations. And me personally, I have benefited from a lot of other people's free content in my journey. And often what I really love about the free content is there's no there's no thoughts or constraints about, the money itself. It's not even a thing. The big difference you get with a one-to-one session, for example, in paid services is, with mine at a one-to-one session, is that it's all about you, just you. And you can ask me questions and I can look at specifics for you, and I can talk to your guides. The free session, the free work is always for anyone that engages with that video. Magical things still happen. Superpower activations still happen. Read the comments and live chats, and you'll hear people describing them, and testimonials. I include testimonials for my free services too. Okay, we have a patient patch. You guys have been very patient as well. We're just over an hour. I also need to get on with my Friday chores. And I promised you a message from Mother Gaia, so let me just drink some water first. Yes, thank you, Mother Gaia. Now, I do have 3 days off psychic work, so Mother Gaia, if you'd like to share anything by stepping into me, I'm happy with that. These are important times for all of the children of Earth. You're all children of Earth of all ages. For you, listening to this message, I come with the message to ask you to hold your heart, just as Jon naturally has his hand upon his heart, his receiving hand upon his heart. Literally hold your hearts, your heart chakras. The touch of your body with your hearts at this time is helping you prepare for the 5th dimensional split that I am preparing for and experiencing, in particular with this journey commencing 11th of April 11th, 2026, in your dates and times. This is not a prediction in a way that something specific will happen on a certain date. It is my free will choice. It is my work with soul. Yes, there may be a day or two variance. I am still very much on track for this time scale. The reason we choose this time is that it is ahead of some of the plans that we're aware of within your governments regarding disclosures, fake alien invasions, wars, fear of war, new truths emerging. There's so many things happening, and we want to get this whole natural process up and running smoothly ahead of these revelations, including the fake revelations. Holding your heart will really help hold and nurture yourself through this journey. Please also invite into your heart these beautiful little sparkles. There are sparkles of a new world that you're creating, co-creating together. These sparkles that come into your heart are often questions. They come in the form of questions, just as the last question was about, do I have to pay for an activation within me? And the short answer is no. These activations, these superpowers and these sparkles of the new world, these new opportunities are coming to you. They come to you as questions. For example, how will humans do business in the future? How will you trade? How will you define your own boundaries? What monetary systems will you have or not? How will you defend yourselves against each other or even other races, other beings from across the universe or under the earth, as you asked earlier? How will you continue to protect, to cultivate, to love and be loved, to thrive and prosper? And most importantly, and above all, how will you finally, as a human race, open up to learn how to receive all that you are constantly gifted from me, Mother Gaia, and the nature of this planet? You can receive far more than you can ever individually or collectively create. So these little sparkles, look for them, the patterns. These are also mirrored in the pre-awakenings and open heart awakenings of your fellow humans. Look for the sparkles, hold your hearts, and be ready, dear souls. Keep your vibration high and be brave and courageous. Take big leaps of your faith. Just like Jon, almost 2 years ago now, leapt from his software career of 26 years to then enter this whole new world. Because that old world no longer served him. It no longer served him or his family. It's a new world. And yes, you'll have more questions than you could ever imagine. And these questions are the opportunities that allow your hearts to open and expand into. You're going to learn this year more about how truly imprisoned you have been. And there's so much more for you to discover. And I'm so excited to support you on your journey. With this, I send you love. Please do choose love. I thought it was going to fall over there. Thank you so much, Mother Gaia. What a beautiful answer. A beautiful message. Thank you. Well, let's bring it to an end. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to my guides, higher self, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Gaia, Sol and Luna, and Venus, and any other soul that's participated in today's session, and asking each of us to step outside of the shared space and to remain in our individual protective spaces for as long as we choose. As I close the shared space down, asking us all to step out and step back, and I return it to Source, or never return here again. Please get plenty of rest after watching this video. Drink as much water as it feels right. Check out these videos up here and here. Please subscribe. Please like and comment, share and hype. Check out my videos, my website. Book me for a one-to-one. Do all the things. It's totally up to you what you do. Thank you so much. Sending my love from Scotland. I love you. Bye.